This is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. Subscribe, rate, or review. Amazon, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Check us out. Don't forget about the Instagram at That Guy Jig. Jigsaw Jimmy 17 on the YouTube. Week 3, we got through it, folks. Listen, week 3 was a weird week in the NFL. I don't know if you saw some of those scores in the early slates. I don't know if you saw some of those games overall. But there was some weird shit going on. From no pass interferences being called to pass interferences being called, it was a weird fucking week. And we got through it. We got through it none the least. Hopefully, we didn't get hit with too many more injuries. The injury bug, hopefully we're finding a cure. Hopefully, we're finding a cure. Christian McCaffrey owners, I'm here to tell you, hold strong. Because I also own a Christian McCaffrey in one of my leagues. And I'm here to tell you, I'm holding strong. I'm holding on with the belief that if I build a team that can replace a Christian McCaffrey, not fully replace because he was your first pick. You can never replace your first love. You can never replace it. But you can always get damn close. Just in case that off chance comes, you are changed and you are ready for love to hit you again. And that's what we are hoping for with Christian McCaffrey. We will build a roster that is sufficient enough to survive without him. And then when he comes back, we will still have this roster. And then now we will be over the top and be ready for playoffs. That is our goal. That is our hopes. And that is what we will hope and pray it will happen. Now, if you know fantasy football, that's probably not going to happen at all. He's probably going to miss the whole season. Listen, prepare for the worst. Prepare for the worst so you don't have to get ready for it when it hits you, folks. That's what fantasy football is about. We're past the honeymoon phase with your team. Your team is no longer a shiny penny. It's no longer, oh, look at my team. Oh, look at, if you're 3-0, congratulations. Do you want a trophy? Do you want a trophy? Because the season is only just begun. And I cannot reiterate that enough. We are here for the long haul. And I'm here, listen, I'm so happy we got through week 3. Week 3 was a terrible week overall for matchups. I hope that shit is done. But whenever there is a storm, there's always a rainbow at the end. And supposedly there's gold there. So there's gold in these hills from week 3. We saw Chuba. We saw Deontay Johnson. Listen, anybody from the Carolina Panthers that you were on the fence about, no longer can you be on that fence because they have a competent quarterback. Listen, yes, Bryce Young is the problem. No one's denying these things. No one's saying Bryce Young is an MVP caliber quarterback on a shitty roster. No one is saying these things, but what I am saying is this. The Carolina Panthers are at fault with putting a man that is not ready in the fire and then expecting him to survive. That is my point. And the point was proven when Andy Dalton came in to see. Now you got to remember, Andy Dalton is a vet. Andy Dalton's a guy who's going to keep the offense in the game. He's going to try his best not to lose you the game. And with this offense and that defense, he's going to win you some games. And Chuba Hubbard is back in play. Deontay Johnson is back in play. Full-time go. Now, Xavier Legette, Mingo, these guys are up next because Adam Thielen's on the IR. So injury bugs did hit there. Zach Charbonnet, listen, as long, and even when he comes back, the running back, Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet is going to be a relevant fantasy piece. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be an every game starter when Kenneth Walker comes back, but he's going to be someone you want to keep on the bench because clearly Kenneth Walker is going to miss some time. He misses games every year. It's a part of the game. Emmanuel Wilson, this is a guy for Green Bay who got in and got some carries. I don't know. I just don't know because they paid Josh Jacobs, Jemilheimer Smith so much money this offseason for a running back. I feel like they still have to use him. But here's a guy that you can look into grabbing, holding on to, and maybe, and just maybe, something positive happens. At the wide receiver position, we saw Jawan Jennings go absolutely nuclear. If you played against him and you won, congratulations. You, my friend, do deserve a trophy because that guy went absolutely fucking ham and cheese melt. So if you want to get him, good job. Romeo Duzé finally came out and showed some leg. And once again, Deontay Johnson. Now, week 4, we got some players for you. I got some players that I want you to go after, keep an eye out for. Running back position, Bucky Irving is going to be a consistent part of the offense. This has been confirmed by Todd Bowles today. Ray Davis is a guy that in deeper leagues you want to keep a handcuff on because as much as Joe Brady wants to run the ball, as much as Ray Davis is a physical specimen, I'm telling you, SEC guy, he's going to get his carries. He's going to get his carries. And remember, Naylor, Allen Lazard, and Johnston from the Chargers is finally coming through. Quentin Johnston is finally coming through to show that number 1. Now, I think he's Justin Herbert dependent. Justin Herbert doesn't play. I'm not putting him in with the hopes and prayers that this guy's going to win me a game. But I do have a sleeper for you because you just hit that subscribe button. And when you hit the subscribe button, I got something for you. Keep an eye out for Calvin Austin, the receiver for the Steelers, the speedster from Memphis. Keep an eye out for him. He is going to be fantasy relevant this year, folks. I'm trying to tell you. Don't say I didn't tell you when he blows up. Last week he did pretty good. Look for him to do pretty good again this week. Look for the Steelers to keep building on this win. Mike Tomlin is out for revenge, and he's got a quarterback who wants to learn, who wants to be coached, and who has a system that is fitting him. He is fitting the system around Justin Fields, something the Bears did not do. I'm telling you, watch out for Pittsburgh. But let's get into it. The week 4. It's time. It's time, folks. Fantasy football, there's no more excuses. We know who is out. We know who is who. The preseason, this is it. This is the last preseason air quotations. I think week 3, they should have most of the kinks out. But week 4, for sure, we shouldn't be seeing too many more wrinkles. This should be it. We are who they are. And I am whoever I say I am. Shout out to Eminem. But Thursday night football, we got Cowboys at the Giants. The Cowboys have to win this game. Dak Prescott is 12-2 in primetime football games. It's going to stay the same. The Giants have been more relevant. Neighbors has been doing his thing. Wan'Dale Robinson, if you're in deeper leagues. Devin Singletary is proven to be a RB number 1 in this system. So I truly look for the Giants to be relevant and the Giants to do well. Those Giants, not the overall Giants, but those Giants should do their job. This game's going to be kind of high scoring, I think. The over-unders are at 45 for 46, so that's pretty good for a Thursday night football. We know how Thursday night football games get. We know how they can be. They can be very sluggish. Watch for CeeDee Lamb to have a bounce-back game after that outburst on the sideline. Look for Dak. Look for the Dallas Cowboys to really just to get their shit together against the Giants. I like all the usual suspects. I like the Cowboys defense for sure versus the Giants. I think they can make some things happen. Moving on to Sunday Fun Day. We have better matchups in the morning slate. Falcons and Saints division game. This game is going to be featured 2 offenses who I think are going to still, the Falcons are going to keep it rolling, and the Saints are going to try to get it back rolling. The Saints had to bust. 15 straight scoring possessions. You knew something was going to give. And what that was Saquon Barkley. Now, this game, I like the usual suspects. Now, the Falcons do have a pretty good pass defense, so keep that in mind when you're starting the Saints wide receivers. Alvin Kamara does usually do his thing, so look for him to keep doing it. And look for Jamal Williams to get some goal line touches. Just look for that. And then for the Falcons, Drake London is going to have a tougher game with Marshawn Lattimore. He's going to have a very tough game. Look for Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts to keep doing what they're doing. Bijan Robinson has got to get in the paint. I mean, what's going on, Zach Robinson? Figure it the hell out. Rams and Bears. Listen, Matthew Stafford is not in a position where he's panicking. He's used to not playing with shit. He's used to being in Detroit. He understands that the cards are against him. Listen, when Matt Stafford bleeds, okay, there is a direct correlation with Matt Stafford's success and when he bleeds. When they make him bleed, he's going to go ham. Anytime you see blood coming from the fingertips of Matthew Stafford, no fear. That's Matthew Stafford, and he's coming all over you. No pause. Romeo Duzé showed some fantasy football relevance. DJ Moore has got to get in the paint this week. DJ Moore, anytime touchdown, Hammer that shit in. He's got to get in the paint this week. No better opportunity than the Rams' terrible secondary. Look for them. This is a get-right game. This is a get-right game for the Bears. The Bears should be able to win this game. They're 3-point favorite, so they should be able to do all right. Vikings in Green Bay. Vikings are going to keep doing Vikings things, man. They're a good football team. They're a very good football team. And you can't take that away from Sam Darnold has been reincarnated. He's been rebirthed. We got to remember he's only 27. Sam Darnold was a young pup drafted to the Carolina Panthers. There is a direct correlation with this franchise. I'm trying to tell you, they're dog shit. Sam Darnold was once again thrown to the fucking wolves, and then they expected him to come back with a goddamn wolf chinchilla and 10 pounds heavier. That's not how this works every time, folks. Sometimes people need to develop. Sam Darnold has developed. He's developed. He's turned into a pretty good quarterback. The Vikings seem to be buying in. Aaron Jones is a revenge game for him, folks. Tag Aaron Jones for a big game. Revenge game for Aaron Jones going back to Lambeau. Big game. Big game. Now for the for the Green Bay Packers, they are going to have a tough time. So far, everybody who's went up against Brian Flores' defense has struggled. I don't see that changing, especially if this is Jordan Love's first game back after his injury down there in Brazil. That he's going to struggle, and I don't expect him to play. So I expect the Vikings to win this game. Steelers and Colts, like I said earlier, man, they have a team that believes in Justin Fields. I don't believe in Anthony Richardson. If you have Anthony Richardson for fantasy football, I feel bad for you. You drafted a non-injured Christian McCaffrey. The guy's not performing. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's throwing terrible interceptions. You got to remember, Anthony Richardson was a project. He is a great athlete, but he is known to be a project. So they're going to have to keep working on this project. You're going to have some struggles. He has tools. He has the weapons. Jonathan Taylor is a great running back to have. But in this game, look for the Steelers to take away Jonathan Taylor and force Anthony Richardson to beat him. Now, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, those guys, maybe they get some good targets and some good receptions. Michael Pittman Jr. hasn't done shit. Alec Pierce has been taking his shine. But last week, he kind of came back a little bit. We need more. We just need more. Broncos and Jets, this is the game where people were talking shit in the offseason, remember? This is when Sean Payton said the offensive coordinator, former head coach of the Broncos was terrible. Now they play. Now Aaron Rodgers is playing. This is going to be a very interesting game, but Allen Lazard, Braylon Edwards, Breece Hall, these are the guys I expect to get in the paint. I think Garrett Wilson, if he's on the outside going against Patrick Surtain, he's going to have a very, very long night. Very, very long night. Patrick Surtain's very good. For the Broncos, it's looking like it's a squad of depth. You don't really know who the number one is at any position, but I can tell you this much. Pookie Williams, we need you. We need you to figure this out, bud. We drafted you high. We put a lot of stock in you, a lot of belief. We need you to come through. Eagles and Buccaneers, this is a game that can get exciting. This is a game that can score points. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, 2 OU quarterbacks. I don't know if old A.J. Brown's going to play. I don't even know if they really need him. But what I do know is I need Mike Evans in the paint. Chris Godwin, I keep telling you this. I'm going to keep telling you this. First of all, hit that subscribe button. But what I'm going to tell you after is, just kidding. Chris Godwin is back in the slot. That's dangerous for any defense. Like I said earlier, Bucky Irvin's going to be involved in the offense with Rashard White. Going to give you a bing-bang combination. Watch out for this game. Going to have some good high scoring. I like everybody. Look for Dallas Goedert to build. Because the Buccaneers defense against tight ends is pretty bad. Bengals and the Panthers. The Bengals are 0-3. They're going against the Red Rocket. This is a revenge game for him. Do the Carolina Panthers beat the Bengals at home? It's very possible. The Panthers have a solid defense. They have a defense that can shut down the Bengals. All it comes down to is Andy Dalton turning the ball over. Did he turn the ball over? If he doesn't turn the ball over, watch out. The Panthers will upset the Bengals, and the Bengals will be 0-4. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Like I said earlier, Chuba, Deontay Johnson are a must-play. Jamar Chase did what I said he would do, bounce back. He didn't have 3, he had 2, and that's all right by me. Shout out to the guy that won $110,000 on him. Shout out to that guy. But the Bengals could lose this game, so don't be surprised. Do not be surprised. Jaguars and Texans, this is a game where both teams need to bounce back. Jaguars have to bounce back from pride. Travis Etienne has to get in the paint. We need Trevor Lawrence to pull his head out of his ass. If he has to cut his hair, he has to cut his hair. But something has to change is my whole point. The Texans have to bounce back after that shellacking they took to the Vikings. Everybody's still in play. No Joe Mixon, so look for the wide receivers to be more. I hope Tank Dell gets in the paint. I need Tank Dell to get in the paint. Hammer that one in anytime touchdown score. The 2 o'clock games, we got 4 of them. Commanders and Cardinals, everybody's in play. We know what the Commanders are going to do now. We see Jalen Daniels. He's slinging it. Terry McLaurin, he's got him a quarterback. We love it. We love everybody. Zach Ertz, this is going to be a good game for him. I like James Conner. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. I like everybody. Honestly, both athletes groups for both teams are going to have solid games. The over-unders in this game is 50, so that tells you they are going to look for a lot of scoring. Now, the kicking game of the week, if you've got some kickers and you need them, they're here. Patriots and 49ers. If you got your kickers, they're the ones that play. In all seriousness, all the 49er players are in play that are playing somewhat. This is going to be a low-scoring game. The 2 o'clock games are all going to be low scoring. I'm telling you, the Browns and Raiders, we're looking at a shit bag. Low scoring. You're looking at the Chiefs and Chargers, shit bag. Low scoring. It's not going to get back high scoring until 6:20 when we got the Bills and the Ravens. And that's where we all have fantasy relevancy. Right there. Everybody in that game, you like them. The Bills have been balling. Shakir, all these guys have been playing their roles perfectly. We love them. The Ravens, they gotta do something. Division game. Lamar Jackson and these guys are at home, so we're expecting big things. Monday, we still got a doubleheader. Dolphins and Titans, another shitbag. We hope Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and these guys can be all right, but Skylar Thompson is killing us. We need him to pull his head out of his ass, please, because you are killing us, kid. You are literally taking a knife and just stabbing us in the heart every single time you snap the ball. I need you to be great. I need you to be better. It's just that simple. Another game of the week, Seahawks and Lions. This game's going to be high scoring. Both offenses have athletes. Both offenses want to score. Both offenses want to be great. If you have anybody that's of relevancy on these two teams, you play them and you play them with confidence. And this next part I'm about to say goes out to Travis Kelce. Hey, bud, I know what you're telling people. I know that you're telling people you guys are out there getting double teamed. I'm not hearing any of that shit. You went out and made a movie this summer. You went out and you made you a fucking movie this summer. And your mom even said it sucked. So, just like your movie performance, your fantasy performances have sucked. We need a bounce back game from you, bud. We need you big. Pat Mahomes needs you. People are questioning if Patrick Mahomes is fantasy relevant. You know why? Because he's missing about 15 to 20 points a game from his fucking tight end. You're dropping balls. It just doesn't seem like your head's in it. It seems like you're trying to learn more movie roles. And quite honestly, Travis, I don't need that. What I need is production. Please. But I do respect you as a man. And this is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you go to Instagram on Saturday and on Friday. Look for the picks for Sunday. We are trying to get to the money. I'm trying to get you into the money. I've already given you a couple free ones. Do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is a ship that don't sink. It's called a friendship. And once again, I am him, JIG. I appreciate the listen. Peace.